Good morning, everybody. I just decided to do a quick video. I'm coming home from work and it's a beautiful Saturday morning, so I decided to swing by my favorite park and do my video. And I'm enjoying the times right now. So far things are going pretty well for me, but I'm looking at the way the economy's looking, so it looks like we're starting to get some downturns globally, and there's no way, no matter what President Trump does, there's no way that's not going to eventually affect us over here in the United States. So, Bitcoin has done a nice little run up and looks like it's heading back up higher. I really don't care. Honestly, the way I see cryptocurrencies is it's not a tradable issue. To me, they're a future of money, and they're also protection against what I believe can be the government form of the mark of the beast. Why do I believe that? Well, governments can shut off your accounts. They can shut off your ability to transact commerce based upon your taxes, based upon social credit scores, like they're doing in China. Who says they can't bring that here to the U.S., right? Who says it's not already here, right? And I believe that that's a form of debtor's prison. In the past, they had things called debtor's prison, where if you didn't pay your bills, when you borrowed money, you'd go to jail. And right now, a lot of people are borrowing, and the amount of debt globally is just outrageous. So I don't believe they're going to do debtor's prison. What they can do is they can prevent you from taking further loans out. They can prevent you from going along in society by a social credit system. So the bank reports you for not paying back your loan on time. It dings your social credit score, and good luck functioning in society. So at least with cryptocurrencies, they give you an option to separate yourself from the system. It's almost like going off the grid. You know, you can get a solar, this is the way I see it, like solar systems, right? You get a solar powered system on your house, right? And there are two ways you can go about it, right? You can either keep it connected to the grid, where any excess solar energy that you produce from the sun and your house doesn't use goes directly into the power poles that lead back to the power company, and it's credited to you as a creator of electricity. All right, you sell it back to the power company, right? Or you can go completely off the grid and you just have a battery system where whatever excess power, solar energy that you harness and create energy for your house, anything excess that you use in your house will go into a battery storage system, where if you need it at night, or when the sun goes down, you need to exceed your usage during the day, the battery backup system can supplement the solar energy that's produced from your solar cells. Okay, well, the same thing with cryptocurrencies. Okay, you can go hot storage, basically, where you're holding your cryptocurrency on a wallet online on an exchange where you want to trade it regularly. You have quick access to it, and you can trade it immediately. Or you can do a cold storage type thing where you have a separate wallet, like a Ledger. I have a Ledger Nano S and a Ledger Nano X, and basically I love those two. I'm looking at the Elipal wallet, which is almost like a smartphone, and that is real cold. I mean, that one doesn't even connect to the internet. You do your transfers through QR codes, and I really love that wallet. I'm actually becoming an affiliate of that, so I'm going to eventually post that up on here too as well. But I have to finish filling out some of the tax forms and stuff related to that. But cryptocurrency, in the end, if something goes on with the monetary system, you have your separate wallet where you can still exchange, as long as you have your addresses and there's internet, and you can send and receive. You can take part in commerce anonymously, and it doesn't have to necessarily be through Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is not necessarily the most anonymous cryptocurrency. I mean, I like Litecoin. Litecoin's always my favorite one, and we're coming up to a halvening pretty soon. It's like a couple days now, where the amount of Litecoin that you can mine by doing by processing transactions on the blockchain is cut in half. So the reward for mining is basically chopped by 50%. So that means there's more scarcity that's involved with both Bitcoin and Litecoin. That's what I love about them. Their white papers have basically set the total amount that will be produced and will be available at a fixed level, and there's no inflation. In fact, it's a deflationary environment. It's very different from the fiat currencies where if there's not enough currency, we just go to the central bank. The central bank will print as much as we need, and then they'll, on top of that, charge us interest. So not only is the printing of the currency, quote printing, I mean, of course it's ones and zeros, so you're quote printing it, but not only is that inflationary, but charging interest in itself is inflationary, because you're charging more than what someone borrowed. So that has to come out of somewhere, right? So it's creating money out of nowhere, in other words, and that destroys and dilutes the value. So the way I see cryptocurrencies, let them crash if they crash. Again, that connects back to my my liquidity crisis issue. Whenever you have economies starting to go down and heading down to like depressionary levels, you're going to have a bit of selling off also of valuable assets that are not really tied to depressionary things. So so you've seen that already with gold and Bitcoin. You know, they've sold off quite a bit. You've seen silver. I mean, they've done great rallying, but they've kind of paused in the meantime. And you're going to see people sell those valuable assets in order to pay their bills, right? It's just the way of the world. When everyone is in debt, that's going to happen, okay? So what I'm saying is, it doesn't matter what happens whenever something of value sells off. This is not financial advice, by the way. This is just me talking about what I do. And what you choose to do with your assets and your money is entirely up to you, and I bear no responsibility for any losses you may incur or any gains, but that's up to you. If you want to donate back to me, I would definitely appreciate it. In the description below, I always have my addresses for all my cryptocurrencies that I like, and I also have affiliate links for my Coinbase account. If you want to learn how to purchase and trade cryptocurrencies, you can do that through Coinbase Pro, and I recommend that platform because it is the most widely used platform. I don't trust exchanges, but I like the Coinbase exchange of all the exchanges because it also gives you free cryptocurrency to learn about cryptocurrencies. So whenever a new cryptocurrency comes out, they usually have an educational video. You watch them, you earn crypto after taking a test, after watching the video. That's awesome, man. That's paid to learn. You earn while you learn, and that's an awesome platform to me. And then on top of that, if you join Coinbase and you fund the account and make your first purchase, you now are in crypto, and I also get a small referral fee for that, which is great for me. So you help me out in that regard. So you're not paying me directly, it's Coinbase that's paying me. So I appreciate that. And that's still non-biased. Even though Coinbase pays me, I still like Coinbase the best. The second best is Binance. I don't have an affiliate link for Binance because they just went to where they're going to create the US platform, and currently my international platform is just sitting out there. I'm not even trading on it, and I transferred all my cryptocurrencies off of it. So I liked Binance the best before, but now it's Coinbase, and I'll probably like Binance again. And with the regulators in there, it's more trustworthy on the exchanges. You're not likely to have an exchange just shut down on you and steal your crypto like what happened to me with Cryptopia, which is very sad. But at the same time, hey, I should have practiced what I preached there. I always tell you to take your money off the exchange, and I didn't there. I kept it on there because I like to do trading on there. That's why. And so that's one of the things you have to consider. Are you going to trade or are you going to buy? At this point, I'm not a trader. I don't care about trading. I just want to buy and hold. I like the assets as they go down. If cryptocurrencies crash, buy more, I buy more, I buy more. And then if they go up in value, I consider, am I going to sell some of it or not and trade it for another cryptocurrency? That's when I trade it back from my cold storage wallet to the exchange wallet so I can do trading. But that's something you have to decide. There are pros and cons to both. Holding it on a cold storage wallet means that whatever you have there is what you have there, unless you have a wallet that has an algorithm that allows you to swap between cryptocurrencies. But most of the time, if you want and that one's tough because you're not getting current pricing information on it. But if you want to trade it, you'd have to transfer from your cold wallet to the exchange wallet, which is a hot wallet connected to the internet, called hot because it's connected to the internet. So it's an active wallet and anyone can hack it. That's a decision you'd have to make. Now, you can't trade on cold. You're stuck with what you got. If cryptocurrency becomes useless, let's say you have Bitcoin, you have like millions of dollars in Bitcoin on a hard wallet, cold storage somewhere away from the internet, and there's a new cryptocurrency that's invented, and it blows Bitcoin out of the water. And it does everything that Bitcoin didn't do, and it's not only a store of wealth, but it's also a wonderful medium of exchange, and Bitcoin becomes where people don't want it anymore. Well, I don't think that's ever going to happen, and even if something like that does happen, I don't think Bitcoin is going to go to zero. But at the same time, you might have bought at, let's say Bitcoin, let's hypothetically say Bitcoin rallies to $1 million of Bitcoin, and you buy in at that point. And you had $1 million and you put all that million on one Bitcoin. You have one Bitcoin in your wallet, and now it's cut by 70% because of this new cryptocurrency that was invented. This is a hypothetical. I'm not saying this is actually going to happen, but let's say that happens. And you have 70% of your value cut away. That's quite a bit of money. You only have what, 300,000 left out of $1 million. That's pretty sizable haircut in your net worth. So those are the considerations you have to take into account when you have a hard cold storage wallet external from the internet and you're not trading. You really have to have the strength and the what is it called, well, it's basically the strength of your conviction. Basically, you have to be strong in what you believe and hold to it. Once you decide to do it, it's all in, baby. And if you're all going to be Bitcoin, you're going to be a Bitcoin maximalist, and there's no such thing as any other cryptocurrency to you, then have at it and best of luck to you. But if you're not, and if that's the way you see it, you buy, you hold, and that's it. Boom. I'm not like that. I like a couple of cryptocurrencies, and I kind of diversify that. But I don't go to these very obscure cryptocurrencies unless I'm willing to gamble a little bit. And there is part of me that likes to gamble. So I have some that I purchased. I lost a little bit of it from Cryptopia because I had some of that on that exchange. But because of Binance, I was able to buy some also there on the Binance exchange. So I was able to transfer some of the Binance one off into a cold storage. But the Cryptopia ones that I had are gone. They're gone forever unless Cryptopia is honest and decides to give me some of my holdings back. But I really doubt that's going to happen because they've gone into, I believe they've gone into conservatorship. So Cryptopia is done. So whatever, if you were a victim of that, hey, that is the cost to be the boss right there. That's the payment of tuition. You live and learn, and you learn that, if you don't hold it, you don't own it, right? And I learned that lesson way back when I first started getting into precious metals. If you're holding derivatives, or you've got your you got your precious metals in a depository somewhere, you don't really own it because someone could seize that from you at any time. If you don't possess it on your person or somewhere nearby you in your home or somewhere where you have a safe that nobody knows about, then you do not possess it. As long as it's in custodianship, meaning someone else is watching over it, then you don't own it, you're done. They can steal it. Same thing can happen with stocks, by the way. A lot of people don't realize that when you're trading on a brokerage, the broker is actually the one holding your stock certificates, especially these discount brokers. And it's become so norm that we keep our money in a stock trading account and with a brokerage and not get the actual certificates ourselves, that we don't even know how to really trade stocks anymore. But the concept is the same. You really don't own the stock. And if the brokerage goes under, and if no one takes custodianship over that brokerage, they can take your stock certificates and you're basically asked out. You're lost. So it's the same concept. If you don't own it, you don't hold it, you don't own it, right? So, and I do that too on my stock exchanges. I keep my currency in the stock exchange, and the stock certificates are held by the brokerage. And I'm okay with that because I really don't need to hold the stock certificates. But you have to take into account if something happens to that exchange or to that broker, big problems are coming down the road. And that's a possibility. It's something that we all need to think about. Just because you're not in cryptocurrencies doesn't mean you don't have the same risks as cryptocurrencies. The government can say all they want about how criminals are the only ones using cryptocurrency, but honestly, a lot of transactions that are done in criminal realms, in the dark, the black markets and the dark, shady areas, are done in cash. So they're using the dollar, and they're using it in cash form as well. They can even use digital dollars to do transactions, and it's not traceable in many ways. So the government is BSing when they make it sound like cryptocurrencies is the only place that bad people do transactions. No, trust me, bad people are like good people. They do transactions and they do it in different forms. Trust me, if you were a cartel boss down in a drug cartel boss down in Mexico, you're using gold, you're using silver, you're using cryptocurrencies, you're using foreign currencies, you're using dollars, you're using even drugs to barter. You may be using vehicles to purchase things, you may be doing cigarette smuggling. I mean, you may be doing all kinds of things where you're circumventing ways that the government can track you. You're maybe even laundering the money through businesses that in actuality aren't really doing business. They look like they're doing business, but if you were to run a business that way, you'd be losing money. But they're showing profits just because they're laundering cash through the business. I mean, really, the government makes that kind of argument it's BS. And I would use that opportunity. If we get a sell-off because of that, I would definitely use that opportunity to buy them, because they're creating a coupon for you to buy something cheaper. So anyway, with that, that's my quick update. Deutsche Bank looks like it's failing, and we got a number of issues going on where they're laying off a lot more employees in businesses. And President Trump is still saying that the economy's good. I think he's got two different economies going on. He's got the economy he's building, and then he's got the economy that existed, that was the global economy that's run by central banks. And those are debt laden. So when we see, and a lot of people have invested in that when we tie into the stock market. So when we see global slowdown, that means the global economy or the central bank economy that's funded by debt is collapsing. And when you see record numbers of jobs and record high employment for black people, Hispanics, blah, 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 when he's always touting that, that's the Trump economy that he's building. That's a cash economy now, where you earn and it's coming in, and the businesses are not funded by as much debt as they used to be, but they can be. This can be new debt, and that's why President Trump is asking to cut interest rates by 100 basis points so that we can get this economy going no matter what, whether it's a central bank economy or the other economy. They'll go together in tandem. And eventually, I think Trump is trying to push to destroy the Federal Reserve note. The U.S., it's called the U.S. dollar, but it's really not the dollar of the United States. It's not the money of the people. It's the currency of the central bank. And so by inflating it, by cutting interest rates and cutting the cost for people to borrow and flooding the markets with dollars, you're going to see the destruction of the U.S. dollar. And eventually, I believe we're going to a gold standard. This is why a lot of President Trump's appointments for the Federal Reserve are supportive of gold. And I think ultimately we will go into a gold standard. Now, the United States, I believe, actually has the gold. We haven't had an audit, an official audit, an open audit, I should say, of Fort Knox and all our gold holdings. But I know you had Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin go in and hold a bar and say, hey, we're good, or whatever, thumbs up, everything's good. But I'm going to trust that we have the gold there. And the way President Trump is acting, most likely we have the gold, because it's possible he's a good poker player and we don't have jack. And he's putting up a front, and it's a very big risk. But that's President Trump, man. Go big or go home. And if he knows that ultimately we're all going to die, might as well put up a bluff anyway with full force so that others comply with us. But I think ultimately what's going to happen is we're going to have a gold standard. And if you own gold, big time good. You own silver, it's connected, big time good. You own precious metals of any form. Palladium is done nice. I love palladium. It's one of my favorite precious metals, but it's still in a liquid market. So sometimes you'll buy palladium and it's very difficult to sell it when you need to. Best time to sell it is when everybody wants it. So when the price is rallying, that's the time to do it. But sometimes you can't because it's in a liquid market, meaning there may not be other people there to sell to. It's not liquid. You can't make it liquid become cash, in other words. So I'm very cautious about telling people about palladium and platinum because I don't want to ever get blamed. Even though I always give that disclaimer, I don't want to ever get blamed for something that is super illiquid and risky for most people who don't know how to trade that. But for me, I love platinum and palladium as well as gold and silver. But silver is my favorite and palladium is my next favorite. Well, I'm sorry. Palladium is my favorite. Silver is my next favorite. Well, but I love them both almost equally, and they're very close together. Especially when palladium's done so much of a rally, I'm more into silver right now. So it kind of can switch between whether that's my favorite or whether the other one's my favorite. But I love them both. So anyway, let's see if that's it. If that's all I wanted to cover in this video. North Korea is firing off missiles. I don't believe those are, I think that's pressure from China, so I wouldn't worry about that. But Iran could be, if Iran's firing off missiles, that's pressure too. Ultimately, what I believe is, and my oil stocks have taken a breather because the price of oil has gone down. So, but I still believe oil is a place to be unless technology has advanced to the point, this is the one big risk. Technology in the United States has advanced to the point where we've developed a completely different form of energy. And if that happens, all bets are off. I will flee oil like there's no tomorrow. So, but because we still have tension around the world and many of the people we're having tensions with are tied to oil, I will continue to have oil as a hedge to all my portfolio. And so far oil has done well for me. I've sold out some of it as it's gone up, but I'm still holding it. And now some of my oil stocks are taking a plummet. So I'm okay with that because I'm basically playing with house money at this point. And I've already rolled some of those profits into precious metals. I've even rolled some of it into base metal investments like nickel and copper, even though I know there's a depression coming. And usually those industrial metals tend to take a plummet. They already have in my book. So I'm going to buy them because I think when the currency starts to devalue, even the base metals will be a flight to safety from currency at that point. So, all right, that's what I guess that's what I want to cover. If anything else happens, this is a long enough video. I'll cover that as well. You guys have a blessed weekend. If I don't have another video, I'll see you some other time, and I thank you for supporting me. Again, if you want to donate to me, I totally appreciate it. Down below in the description has my crypto addresses and affiliate links for anything you might want to sign up. Oh yeah, also I'm on crypto.com because I love that new metal Visa that they came out with for cryptocurrencies. You can purchase cryptocurrencies with a Visa, baby. So they got Visa backing them. And so anyone who tells me that the cryptocurrencies are a scam, man, why would a Visa credit card go backing that crypto.com? So anyway, that's what I love about it. So if you like this content and you think it's something that you enjoy, hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button if you're here for the first time so that you can always be a member of my group and you can come hear my commentaries, and hopefully I can influence your life positively for the better so that we all benefit and so that we can live in a world just like this one in the background where everything is shiny and green and lush and beautiful. And most importantly, hit that bell notification. Make sure it's selected to all notifications so you know next time I post a video. And most importantly now, make sure you share to anybody who you think can benefit from the videos I post as well and the information that I share. And with that, God bless y'all. Take care. Love you. Peace. I'm out.